Stop right here. The wrong blouse is aging you faster than your wrinkles. It sits inches from your face, either lifting your features and posture or quietly draining your light. If you've started to feel invisible, if every photo reads tired when you're not, if you keep defaulting to black because it feels safe, you're not the problem, your blouse is. I'm not here to sell trends or a new body. I'm here to fix the piece that lives under your chin and changes everything. Welcome to Golden After 60, where we dress for the life we have and the confidence we deserve. In this episode, I'll walk you through 9 smart, simple blouse shifts that make you look modern, elegant, and unmistakably you, without overspending or chasing what's in. Stay with me to the end for a 5-minute closet audit you can do tonight and a quick color and fit cheat sheet you can screenshot for your mirror. If practical, real-life styling helps you show up as your best self, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next lesson. Now let's get your blouse working for your face, not against it. Secret number 1, the skimming rule, not the hiding habit. As a 62-year-old who used to live in comfort tops, I learned the hard way that boxy volume doesn't hide, it widens. Extra fabric collapses at the waist, drops the eye line, and makes posture read tired. The fix is precision, not pressure. Choose blouses that skim, not squeeze, so the body looks intentional and upright rather than swallowed. You're looking for quiet shaping cues, side darts that pull excess fabric off the midriff, a soft wrap that creates a diagonal path for the eye, or a slightly curved hem that implies a waist without clinging. Fabric matters just as much as cut. Crepe, silk or satin blends, linen blends, and soft poplins fall in a smooth wave, while flimsy jerseys and grabby poly tend to telegraph every ridge. If a hem drops cleanly and ripples once when you release it, the drape will be kind to you. I like one simple proportion rule to keep outfits modern, 2-part structure to 1-part flow. If the blouse is fluid, pair it with slim trousers or straight jeans. If the blouse is tailored, let the pants relax a touch. When in doubt, reorganize the verticals. A front half-tuck creates a visible center line and a clearer high-to-low break, which is why stylists use it to extend the leg line without adding bulk. The look became mainstream after Queer Eye popularized it, but the reason it works is math, not trend. Pair that with a mid-hip hem instead of a long tunic or a mid-belly crop, and you avoid chopping your frame into equal halves, aligning with the familiar 1/3/2/3 guideline that consistently looks taller and more balanced. There's also a psychology bonus. What we wear can shape how we carry ourselves. In classic, enclothed cognition experiments, participants literally performed better on attention tasks when they wore a garment described as a doctor's coat versus the same coat framed as a painter's. Translation for us: when a blouse supports posture and intent, you behave and appear more focused and upright. Choose pieces that cue polished, present, confident, and your body often follows. One more visual lever you can pull is line direction. Diagonals created by a wrap front or a V-shaped opening guide the viewer's eye down and inward. Lab tests on clothing, dividing lines, find that oblique lines produce the highest perceived height scores, which is exactly why a gentle wrap and a half-tuck feel lengthening even when nothing else changes. My own turning point was a dove gray crepe wrap I'd saved for years. We hemmed it to mid-hip, added a neat half-tuck over straight jeans, and everything lifted: face, posture, spirit. Same size, same woman, just edited with intent. Try a quick mirror drill. Take a side photo in your boxiest blouse, then swap to a skimming top with a front tuck. Which version of you stands taller, calmer, more defined? Hold onto that answer as we move to the next upgrade. Getting patterns to serve your face instead of stealing the spotlight. Secret number 2. Make patterns serve your face. Patterns should frame your face, not compete with it. Loud, busy prints, those 8 to 10 color garden parties, pull the eye to the fabric before it ever meets your features. In visual perception, too many competing edges and contrasts create clutter, so attention ping-pongs around the blouse instead of settling where you want it: your eyes, your skin, your smile. The fix is simple and decisive. Edit the signal. Limit your palette to 2 or 3 harmonious colors so the viewer's brain processes the image more fluently and finds you faster. Choose small to medium motifs that read as texture from a few steps back instead of a billboard up close. If you want movement, make sure the print flows vertically or on a soft diagonal. Those directions naturally guide the gaze upward and lengthen the line from waist to face. Think of the outfit as a conversation with one clear speaker. If your blouse is the hero, let everything else support it: clean trousers, quiet shoes, minimal jewelry, so the focal point remains your face rather than a chorus of accents. If the blouse is quiet, that's when a pair of luminous earrings or a scarf earns its moment. Either way, you're controlling the total volume of signals in the look. Give yourself 30 seconds in good window light to prove it. Take a selfie in your loudest print. Then, in a simplified version of the same idea, fewer colors, smaller scale, vertical flow. In the first image, you'll notice the blouse. In the second, you'll notice your eyes. That's your answer. I've seen this transformation again and again. Darla, 61, loved her garden party florals. Beautiful, but 10 colors packed shoulder to hem. We traded them for a spaced botanical in buttercream and moss, same spirit, half the noise. The difference in photos was immediate. Her green eyes looked suddenly luminous, as if we'd changed her makeup instead of her shirt. I made the same shift myself. At 66, I owned a coral fuchsia lime navy print that photographed louder than my personality. I kept the coral, paired the rest to 2 supportive tones, and chose a smaller motif that drifted on a diagonal. Now the first thing people comment on is my glow, not my top. As you edit your closet, ask yourself the questions that matter. How many colors are fighting for attention on this print? Does the motif shrink to a refined texture at social distance, or does it shout across the room? When I soften the palette and add direction, do my eyes become the brightest point in the frame? If you're unsure, post a side-by-side in the comments. Busy versus edited, and look for the shot where your face wins in a single glance. With your prints now supporting the portrait, you're ready for the next lift. Refining the neckline so it opens the chest, lengthens the jawline, and makes every pattern, even a favorite floral, work twice as hard for your face. Secret number 3. Necklines that lift. High, tight necklines look modest, but crowd the jaw and box in the face. As we move through our 50s and 60s, many of us develop a slight forward head tilt or rounding through the upper back. A closed neckline exaggerates that by visually shortening the neck. The simplest correction is to open the neckline just enough to create a clean vertical. Our eyes read verticals as lengthening, so even a modest opening can lift the lower face, clarify the jawline, and relax the shoulders. A shallow V-neck is the most reliable choice because it builds that vertical without feeling revealing. Aim for a V that starts near the sternal notch and drops about 1.53 inches. On fuller busts, keep the angle gentle so the fabric lies flat across the chest. Boat necks can be equally flattering when they skim the collarbone instead of sitting as a straight horizontal bar. I look for a boat neck that exposes about 1 inch of shoulder and curves softly rather than cutting straight across. Elegant, feminine, and quietly elongating. An open collar poplin shirt gives you precision control. Unbutton 1 or 2 buttons to form a subtle V and adjust the opening to your comfort. When I need extra length instantly, I add a long, matte pendant that falls around mid-sternum. 20-24 inches is a sweet spot for most torsos because it draws the eye down in one uninterrupted line. Use a quick mirror test to confirm you've got it right. Stand in natural light and place your hand like a shelf under your chin. If your neckline creates a vertical window above your hand, you're lifting. If it reads as a horizontal stop sign, adjust, open one more button, switch to a shallow V, or add the pendant. Check the shoulder fit while you're there. Shoulder seams should sit right at the bony point. Seams that fall down the arm make the upper body look broader and cancel the benefit of a great neckline. Anne, 65, loved crewnecks for the coverage. We kept the modesty by moving to a shallow V in a soft crepe and adding a matte pendant at mid-sternum. Same coverage, new proportion. Her jawline looked crisper and her posture read taller. In my own closet, I spent years defaulting to high crews because they felt safe on camera. The day I tried a light gray boat neck with a 22-inch pendant, the change was immediate. More neck, more ease through the shoulders, less visual weight under the chin. If you're unsure where to start, try 3 controlled experiments in window light: a shallow V, a curved boat neck, and an open collar poplin with one button undone. Photograph each from the shoulders up. Which image shows the longest neck and the brightest skin? Keep that silhouette. Now that your neckline is doing the lifting, the next step is making sure your fabric doesn't undo the effect. Choose materials that glide rather than grip so the whole upper body reads long and refined. Secret number 4. Choose fabrics that glide, not grip. Thin jerseys and shiny poly cling to every line because the fibers don't hold moisture and build static as you move. The fabric grips your body and even exaggerates small posture shifts, so the blouse ends up announcing what you'd rather smooth. When a top glides instead of grabs, the eye reads a continuous, elegant surface, and your silhouette looks calmer and longer. Here's the fabric truth in numbers. Polyester's equilibrium moisture regain is about 0.4% at standard conditions, which is why it tends to spark and stick. Cotton sits around 8% and silk about 11%, often 9% after degumming. Those higher, hygroscopic fibers absorb a whisper of atmospheric moisture and behave better on skin, which is also why low humidity seasons feel clingier, and a little moisture tames static. Choose fabrics that naturally glide. Crepe, silk, or satin blends with a matte hand, soft poplin that holds shape without stiffness, and linen blends that breathe yet fall cleanly. Drape is not a myth of the fitting room, it's a measurable property. Industry uses ASTM D1388 to quantify bending length and flexural rigidity. Your eye translates that softer bend into quietly expensive. Do a quick drape read anywhere. Hold the hem and let it fall. If it releases in a smooth wave, it will skim on the body. If it collapses into a skinny rope or clings to your palm, it will likely grip your midsection the moment you sit. Then give yourself the 30-second wear test. Sit, stand, reach forward. If the blouse rides, catches, or pulls across the abdomen, it's the fabric, not you. Speaking as a woman in her 60s, I noticed an afternoon slump creeping into my posture, and my old shiny jersey top started broadcasting it by 4 p.m. The fix wasn't shapewear. It was swapping to a matte crepe V-neck and a featherweight new-to-me kami. The fabric floated. I stopped tugging at dinner, and photos looked softer without changing a single thing about my body. Pat, 70, had a similar story. She wore shaping slips under everything because cling made her self-conscious. We changed only the textile, a fluid crepe blouse over a matte, laser-cut kami. She walked out saying, "I feel dressed, not squeezed," and parked her daytime shapewear in a drawer. If dry air is making a favorite blouse misbehave, A light mist or a pass with steam reduces static in seconds, and separating synthetics from natural fibers when laundering helps prevent the charge that causes cling. Try it on your most troublesome top and tell me what happened. Which blouse in your closet grabs the moment you sit down? Do you feel a tangible difference between poly satin and silk blend satin on your skin? If you own linen, does the subtle texture and airflow make you stand taller by evening? Once your tops glide, the next upgrade is editing the small, dated details: shoulder pads, shiny buttons, excess ruffles, so the whole look reads current at a glance. Secret number 5. Edit the time stamps. Big shoulder pads, shiny plastic buttons, and layers of bows or ruffles telegraph a specific era, so even when you feel modern, your blouse can read like a rerun. Power shoulders were quintessentially 1980, part of the power dressing vocabulary, so bulky pads in a soft blouse feel costume-y today. Designers do cycle shoulders back on runways, but the contemporary versions are lighter and sculpted, not stiff blocks from the past. The fastest refresh is simple: keep the structure, lose the nostalgia. I speak as a woman in her 60s who records weekly on camera. When I love a color or fabric but the details date me, I strip the heavy pads and preserve only soft shaping at the shoulder. Then I swap plastic buttons for pearl, horn, or matte metal. That single upgrade often makes a mid-priced blouse look quietly expensive because buttons and finishings act as quality cues to the eye. Stylists have passed down this trick for years. Even celebrities have called it out. Mindy Kaling has shared that swapping buttons is her go-to hack for making affordable pieces read designer. This isn't only aesthetic. First impressions happen at high speed. Experiments show people form trait judgments from faces in about 1/10 of a second, so the details nearest your face carry outsized influence before you've said a word. When your blouse reads intentional and current, you benefit twice. Others read polished, and you feel it too. Research on enclothed cognition shows clothing with symbolic meaning can subtly change how we carry ourselves and how focused and confident we feel. A modernized blouse doesn't just look better, it supports better posture, presence, and performance. Do this now. Remove bulky pads, but keep slim, flexible support if it balances your shoulders. Replace shiny plastic buttons with pearl, horn, or matte metal. You can have a tailor do it quickly, and that tiny investment returns every time you wear the blouse. Keep one feminine element, say, a soft tie or delicate ruffle, and pair it with tailored trousers so the look says modern feminine rather than costume. If sleeves feel fussy, narrow the cuff or simplify the placket. Small alterations beat a full wardrobe replacement. 30-second test. If you can guess the exact year a blouse was trending, it's time to edit. Mini story: Nora, 72, brought me a beloved shell pink blouse in a gorgeous crepe, but the shoulders were boxy, the buttons were shiny plastic, and the cuffs ballooned. We removed the pads, swapped in matte horn buttons, and tapered the cuffs by a 1/2 inch. She wore it to brunch the next day and texted me, "Same blouse, new life." Her daughter said she looked like herself, not her photo album. Your turn. Which detail dates your blouse more? Pads, plastic buttons, or ruffles? If you had to keep only one feminine element, what would earn the spot? Would you try a button swap before buying new, and if not, what stops you? Drop a close-up of your blouse front in the comments and tell me your goal: elegant, modern, or quietly romantic, and I'll reply with a one-line update plan. Next, once the details are current, we'll make the entire silhouette work harder: length and proportion from shoulder to hem. Secret number 6. Proportion is the quiet superpower. Proportion is the quiet superpower that makes everything else work. The most common mistake is letting a tunic hit mid-thigh or wearing a short top that lands right at the fullest part of the waist. Both create a heavy half-and-half split that shortens the body and widens the frame. Our eyes prefer thirds to halves, so when the outfit reads as roughly 1/3 and 2/3, what stylists call 2, 1 or 3, 2, you look instantly taller and more composed. The fix starts with hem placement. For everyday tops worn over pants, aim for mid-hip. Practically, that's about 1 to 3 inches above the crotch point on most bodies. That location preserves leg length without exposing or overemphasizing the midsection. If you love a tunic, keep it and change the supporting cast. Pair it with a slim, straight or tapered pant and a low vamp, pointed flat or slingback to elongate the foot and keep the leg line unbroken. Avoid the 50/50 split by nudging the eye with small tweaks. A half tuck, a narrow belt in the color of your pants, or a darker top over lighter bottoms if you need the break point to sit higher. Monochrome columns also help. Matching top and pant in the same depth of color makes the body read as a continuous vertical. Run a 30-second check to prove it. Place a small piece of painter's tape at your leg's midpoint. Try one blouse that ends above the tape and one that ends below. Take 2 quick photos in natural light. The version that avoids the exact halfway break will almost always look longer and lighter. If the difference is subtle, change only the shoe. Swap a round-toe loafer for a pointed flat or a low vamp slingback and watch the leg extend another visual inch. My own wake-up call came at 64. I kept complaining that I was shrinking. The mirror was unkind until I realized my favorite jersey tunics stopped right at mid-thigh. I hemmed 2 down to mid-hip, traded my boxy trousers for a slim straight leg, and switched to pointed flats. Nothing about my height changed, yet neighbors asked whether I'd started pilates. I hadn't, I simply fixed my proportions. Now it's your turn. Where do your everyday tops actually land? Above mid-hip, at it, or below? When you run the tape test, does the hem above or below your midpoint win? Which shoe shape lengthens your line more on camera? Pointed flat, low vamp slingback, or your usual rounded loafer? If you're petite, can you drop the tunic length by an inch and keep the look? If you're long-waisted, have you tried a front tuck to rebalance to a 3-2? Share what you see in photos. The camera is brutally honest and wonderfully helpful. Keep these ratios in mind as we move on. The same proportion logic will guide where to place prints, seams, and necklines so the blouse frames your face instead of widening your torso. Secret number 7. Wear colors that light your skin. Harsh black and optic white worn right under the chin can throw hard shadows and flatten your glow. Muddy beiges that match your skin too closely do the same, draining energy from the face. A smarter approach is to place soft, light neutrals, ivory, light gray, warm beige, near your face and reserve the stark extremes for lower halves or as supporting layers. Then bring in jewel tones, teal, emerald, sapphire, burgundy, which act like clean, cool reflectors next to silver hair, bouncing light back into the complexion so your eyes look clearer and your skin reads smoother. The reason is simple optics and perception. As we age, the contrast between our features and surrounding skin naturally drops. In a PLOS 1 study measuring 289 Caucasian female faces aged 2070, researchers showed that multiple aspects of facial contrast decrease with age, and that faces with higher contrast are judged younger. When they digitally increased contrast around features, the same faces looked younger to observers. Follow-up work across cultures looked at 763 women, Chinese, Latin American, Black South African, and French Caucasian, and found the same pattern. Most elements of facial contrast decline with age, and raising contrast makes faces read younger to observers from different cultures. Translate that science to your closet. If your hair, brows, and lashes are softer now, aim for mid-contrast combinations up top. An ivory blouse under a mid-navy jacket, a light gray knit with a deep berry scarf, a warm beige silk shirt with a cool teal earring. If you still carry stronger feature contrast, you can push bolder pairings without harshness. Deep sapphire next to soft ivory reads intentional and polished. When you absolutely love black, soften it. Choose charcoal or inkai navy, open the neckline to create a vertical light channel, or buffer with an ivory collar or scarf so the color doesn't pool shadows under the chin. Use the 30-second test and let daylight be the judge. Stand by a window and hold up 3 blouses, 1 black or optic white, 1 soft neutral, and 1 jewel tone. Watch your eyes first, then your skin. The keeper is the one that makes your eyes brighter and your complexion clearer without changing your makeup. I'm a 60-plus woman with silver at the temples and lighter brows, and for years I defaulted to safe, black for dinners because it felt dressy. The night I tried deep teal, my granddaughter asked if I'd changed my skincare. I hadn't. The blouse simply restored the feature skin contrast time had softened, exactly what the studies describe. If you're unsure where to start, try teal, burgundy, or soft ivory within 2 inches of your face and take a quick photo in daylight. Compare it to the same outfit in flat beige or stark black. Which version looks more awake and effortless? That answer will carry you into the next segment, where we'll refine what your blouse sits on top of so everything reads smoother and more expensive without buying a new wardrobe. Secret number 8. Sleeve architecture shapes your silhouette. Sleeves are architecture. When they are too wide or too long, when the shoulder seam slides down the arm, or when a bell sleeve explodes right at the fullest part of the bicep, the eye reads a horizontal bar across your upper body. That horizontal line plants width exactly where you don't want it and visually shortens the arm. The fix starts with precision at the shoulder. The seam should sit on the shoulder point, not half an inch down the arm. From there, choose lengths that reveal the forearm. 3/4 sleeves, which end between elbow and wrist, or bracelet length, which lands just above the wrist bone, are universally lengthening because they expose the narrowest part of the arm and create a clean vertical. If you love romance, keep it strategic. Let the sleeve balloon closer to the shoulder, then taper into a slim cuff so the eye keeps traveling down instead of stopping at mid-arm. Fit matters as much as silhouette. You want ease for movement, not excess fabric. As a rule of thumb in pattern work, bicep and elbow ease in the sleeve runs about 1.5 to 2 inches. Far beyond that, volume starts to read sloppy rather than fluid. A good alterations tailor can raise a dropped shoulder, slim an over-wide sleeve, or shorten to bracelet length in under an hour, and those small changes often make the entire blouse look custom. Use quick tests before you leave the house. Extend your arm as if you're greeting someone. A neat sliver of wrist should show. Stand in a doorway with your arms relaxed. If the sleeves brush the jam before your body, they're too wide. Take a side selfie and look for collapse versus flare. Sleeves that collapse softly toward the waist read sleek. Sleeves that stick out at mid-arm add visual pounds. If a beloved sleeve fails, don't toss the blouse, shape it. A narrow cuff, a subtle pleat at the hem, or a clean roll to just below the elbow can rescue proportion in seconds. I'm in my 60s and learned this the hard way. I adored poet sleeves because they felt soft and feminine until I saw them in event photos. The ruffle sat right at my mid-bicep, the broadest spot, so my torso looked square. I switched to a gentle puff at the shoulder with a narrow cuff ending at my wrist bone. Same romance, different engineering. My arms looked longer, my waist looked tidier, and nothing about my body changed. Lydia, 66, had the same experience when we traded her dramatic poet sleeve for a soft puff and slim cuff. Her arms looked inches longer, no gym time required. Audit your closet with 2 questions. Do your sleeves show a hint of wrist, and does your shoulder seem sit exactly where your shoulder begins? If not, a simple alteration will pay dividends every time you get dressed. With sleeves now shaping your silhouette instead of widening it, you're ready for the next upgrade, making the entire blouse read polished and quietly expensive with invisible layering and zero show-through. Secret number 9. Invisible layering that makes blouses look expensive. Nothing elevates a blouse faster than foundations you never see. The biggest mistake is pairing a white bra with a white top, wearing textured bras under satin, or letting a commie outline telegraph through the fabric. Show-through and constant adjusting read unfinished, even when the blouse is beautiful. The fix starts with color. Choose new to you under any light blouse. White beneath white often glows. A skin tone shade disappears. On some complexions, a true blue-based red can vanish under white as well, but test it in daylight before you commit. Stand by a window, put on your lightest blouse, try a white commie, a black commie, and a nude-to-you commie, snap 3 quick photos, and keep the one that visually disappears. Texture is next. Under satin or silk, a matte, laser-cut tank erases ridges because bonded edges lie flat and won't create a step under glossy fabric. If your blouse is a wrap or surplice, a bias-cut commie is the secret to glide without bulk. Cutting the fabric on the bias lets it stretch and drape with the body, so it moves as you move and stays smooth through the waist. For semi-sheer designs, keep only 1/3 of the blouse visually sheer. Think sleeves or a yoke, and let the torso read opaque. That ratio preserves ease and modesty while keeping the eye on your face. Control the hem. Floaty fabrics can flip up and flutter in motion, which forces fidgeting. Add micro hem weights, about 0.5 ounce each, inside the side seam so the hem drops in a clean line. They're invisible from the outside and make chiffon, georgette, and light crepe read more expensive instantly. Match strap geometry to neckline, a plunge or narrow center bra for V-necks, a wide-set strap style for boat necks, and a low-profile t-shirt bra for poplin buttons opened 1 or 2 notches. The goal is simple. Nothing peaks, nothing prints, nothing shifts. I'm 62, and I had a blush chiffon blouse I loved but rarely wore because I kept tugging at it. I swapped to a matte, nude-to-me bias commie and tucked 2 micro weights in the side seams. I didn't touch my top once at dinner, and the photos looked softly airbrushed. No lines, no glare, just skin and fabric working together. Now I want to hear from you. On your skin, which disappears best under white, nude to you or a true red? What hem weight method feels more secure for you, stick-on or sewn-in? If you've tried laser-cut tanks under satin, did they eliminate outlines, or do you still see ridges? Share your undertone, cool, neutral, warm, and your test results so other women can learn from your experience. With your base layer invisible and your blouse reading polished, you're ready for the next level of elegance. The color near your face. That's where we'll unlock instant brightness for your skin and eyes. Set a 5-minute timer and pull 5, maybe blouses, the ones you keep but rarely choose. Start with the neckline. You want a vertical opening that lifts the face, a shallow V, an open collar, or a refined boat neck that shows a hint of collarbone. I used to rely on a high crew neck in stiff cotton. On video calls my jawline softened and my neck looked shorter. Switching to a modest V with a simple pendant instantly sharpened my profile. Stand by a window, place a flat hand under your chin and look at the line your neckline creates. If it forms a vertical opening, keep it. If it reads as a horizontal bar across the chest, move it to the rethink pile. Which neckline makes your face look most awake, V, boat, or open collar? Next, check length. Mid-hip is the most forgiving landing spot for everyday wear because it lengthens the leg line without chopping the torso. If a blouse runs long, try a clean half tuck or ask for a slight curved hem. If it's too short and cuts at the fullest part of your waist, it will widen you in photos and real life. I loved a tunic that covered everything until I saw it split my body in half. Hemmed to mid-hip and paired with slim pants, it became one of my most worn pieces. Put a small piece of tape at your leg's midpoint and test the blouse ending above that mark and then below it. Which position makes you look taller? Are you team half tuck or team full tuck? And if you're petite, does mid-hip help you like it helps me? Move on to fabric. Glide is always better than grip. Crepe, silk blends, linen blends, and soft poplin fall in a smooth wave and skim gracefully. Thin jerseys and shiny poly tend to cling and magnify lines you don't want to highlight. On humid days, I used to grab a featherweight jersey and then fidget with it all afternoon. A switch to a matte crepe shell solved it. No cling, no fidgeting, just a clean line under a cardigan. Hold the hem and let it drop. If it releases into a fluid wave, the drape will flatter you. If it sticks to your hand, it will do the same on your body. Which fabrics feel polished on your skin, crepe, poplin, or linen? Then edit pattern. Keep the palette to 2 or 3 coordinated colors and favor small to medium motifs with vertical or diagonal flow so the print supports your face instead of stealing the frame. I owned a joyful floral with 8 colors. Every picture looked busy. A spaced botanical in 2 tones kept the romance and put the attention back on my eyes. Step back in the mirror, count colors, and ask yourself what you notice first, your features or the print. If florals make you happy, do you feel more yourself in tiny ditsies or in airier spaced botanicals? Clean up details. 1 focal point is modern, 3 are fussy. Remove bulky shoulder pads from older blouses, replace shiny plastic buttons with pearl, horn, or matte metal, trim an oversized cuff, and keep bows or ruffles restrained. I refreshed a sentimental blouse from my 50s by slimming the cuffs and swapping in horn buttons. Suddenly, it looked current and expensive. Which detail dates your blouse the most? Pads, buttons, or ruffles? And would you try a quick DIY button change or take it to a tailor? Finish with a color selfie in natural light. Hold 3 options near your face and watch what happens to your eyes and skin. Off-white, light gray, and warm beige are kinder than optic white for many of us, while teal, emerald, sapphire, and burgundy add life without shouting. I leaned on black for years because it felt safe. Next to my silver streaks, it cast shadows I didn't want. Deep teal became my dinner color. Suddenly, I looked rested before makeup. If you've embraced gray, which jewel tone gives you that subtle spotlight? And do you look brighter in ivory or in true white? Carry the same clarity into shopping so every blouse earns its hanger. Fit comes first. Shoulders should align with your shoulder points, the body should lightly suggest a waist, and the bust should sit smoothly with no pulling at the buttons. I always bring 2 sizes into the fitting room, 1 chosen for the shoulder, 1 for the bust, and decide which will tailor better if needed. Fabric should glide, not accumulate static. If my ring snags the surface, I know it will catch at home. Build a simple color trio each season. 1 base neutral to anchor, light gray is mine. 1 face lighting shade that functions like a soft reflector, deep teal for me. And 1 accent that plays well with the other 2, camel this month. Before you buy, confirm the 3-bottom rule. The blouse must work with 3 items you already own, for example, a navy trouser, a mid-wash jean, and a black ankle pant. Use cost per wear as your reality check. A $60 blouse you reach for 20 times is a far better investment than a $30 novelty you wear twice. Keep the balancing ratios in mind to streamline choices on busy mornings. 2-to-1 structure to flow so the outfit has shape. A 70-30 split of neutrals to accents so your look stays calm with interest. And 90-10 matte to shine so the finish reads luxurious rather than glossy. Create a 6-piece micro capsule so outfits multiply without thought. Start with a silk blend V-neck in teal or sapphire. The gentle drape and saturated color act like soft lighting for the face, and I wear mine with straight jeans and a suede belt for lunches. Add a soft ivory poplin button front. Open the collar 1 or 2 buttons, half tuck and pair with gold hoops, and it slides under a blazer when you need quick polish. Include a boat neck fine knit in light gray or oatmeal to skim the collarbone. I push the sleeves to show a bit of wrist and add a long pendant with a pencil skirt. A wrap front crepe in warm beige or blush gives waist suggestion without pressure. I anchor the crossover with a tiny hidden stitch and wear it with tapered black trousers. A subtle print shell in 2 tones adds interest under cardigans and jackets without competing with your face. Dots, neat stripes, or spaced florals all work. Finally, a linen blend camp shirt handles warm days with ease. I front tuck it into slim crops and finish with loafers, sleeves neatly rolled twice. If you owned only these 6, how many combinations could you build with the bottoms already in your closet, and which one would you wear tomorrow morning? Recap the essentials so they become second nature. Choose silhouettes that skim rather than cling. Land hems at mid-hip unless you're using a deliberate half-tuck or balancing a tunic with slim pants. Let patterns frame your features, simplify palettes and scale. Open the neckline to create a vertical line that lifts the face. Favor fabrics that glide. Edit away dated details so the blouse speaks in a modern, quiet voice. Respect proportion through simple ratios instead of chasing trends. Put colors near your face that act like soft light. Use invisible layering, new-to-you camis, matte bases, and discreet hem weights so everything reads refined. If you completed the 5-minute audit, name the one blouse you're unsure about and tell me its color, neckline, and length. I'll give you a 1-line fix you can test in front of a window in under a minute. One smart adjustment at the neckline, hem, fabric, or color can change how your face reads on camera and in real life. If you found even one useful idea today, subscribe, tap like, and tell me in the comments which secret you'll try first. If you're comfortable, share a photo of your best blouse color in natural light, include the neckline and hem length, and I'll reply with a 1-line tweak to maximize your glow. Thank you for spending your time with Golden After 60. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. You are not behind, you are becoming.